everybody, and happy October. This is my favorite month of the whole year. Really is the beginning of fall. The leaves in my neck of the woods, so to speak, are all changing from green to beautiful oranges, yellows, and reds. The nights are getting colder. The days are getting shorter. And best of all, Halloween is right around the corner. Halloween is by far my most favorite day of the year. And as you can probably tell from the ghastly image before you, this is going to be a Halloween video in what I hope to be a series throughout this month of Halloween-related videos. The picture you're looking at is from the book More Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. These stories were collected from folklore and urban legends and retold by Alvin Schwartz with illustrations by Stephen Gammell. I grew up with these books. The illustrations I felt were 10 times scarier than the stories. I've read recently that in their infinite wisdom, the people who publish this book have redone it with new illustrations. I've seen the illustrations, and they're nowhere near as cool as the ones from the original series. If you like scary stories, I'd recommend picking up all 3 in this series. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, More Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, and I believe the 3rd one is called Scary Stories to Chill Your Bones. Regardless of what they're called, make certain you pick up the ones with the original illustrations. They're the stuff that little kids' nightmares are made of. So, this illustration is from a story called One Sunday Morning. The copy I have in my hand is so old that some of the pages are held together with tape. I hope you enjoy One Sunday Morning. Ida always went to the 7 o'clock Sunday morning service at her church. Usually, she heard the clanging of the church bells while she was eating breakfast. But this morning, she heard them while she was still in bed. That means I'm late, she thought. Ida jumped out of bed, quickly dressed, and left without eating or looking at the clock. It was still dark outside, but it usually was dark at this time of year. Ida was the only one on the street. The only sounds she heard were the clatter of her shoes on the pavement. Everybody must already be in church, she thought. Ida took a shortcut through the cemetery. Then she quietly slipped into the church and found a seat. The service had already begun. When she caught her breath, Ida looked around. The church was filled with people she had never seen before. But the woman next to her did look familiar. Ida smiled at her. It's Josephine Kerr, she thought. But she's dead. She died a month ago. Suddenly, Ida felt uneasy. She looked around again. As her eyes began to adjust to the dim light, Ida saw some skeletons in suits and dresses. This is a service for the dead, Ida thought. Everybody here is dead, except me. Ida noticed that some of them were staring at her. They looked angry, as if she had no business there. Josephine Kerr leaned toward her and whispered, "Leave right after the benediction, if you care for your life." When the service came to an end, the minister gave his blessing. "The Lord bless you and keep you," he said. "The Lord make his face to shine upon you." Ida grabbed her coat and walked quickly toward the door. When she heard footsteps behind her, she glanced back. Several of the dead were coming toward her. Others were getting up to join them. "The Lord lift up his countenance to you," the minister went on. Ida was so frightened, she began to run. Out the door she ran, with a pack of shrieking ghosts at her heels. "Get out!" one of them screamed. Another shouted, "You don't belong here," and ripped her coat away. As Ida ran through the cemetery, a third grabbed the hat from her head. "Don't come back!" it screamed and shook its arm at her. By the time Ida reached the street, the sun was rising and the dead had disappeared. Did this really happen? Ida asked herself. Or have I been dreaming? That afternoon, one of Ida's friends brought over her coat and hat, or what was left of them. They had been found in the cemetery, torn to shreds. I hope you enjoyed the story, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all doing well. Looking forward to celebrating this month with you. Have a good day if your day is just beginning. And if you're going to bed, pleasant